Hey there here, so welcome to the VR channel. We first talked about it last week, mentioning some small details about the v56, the next update for the Meta Quest 2 and the Meta Quest Pro. But now it's officially here, with some big comebacks, improvements and new features. So well, let's discover it together in this video, because yes, there's some cool stuff. Alright, here we are. I know that from the comments many of you talked about the fact that they didn't receive v55 just yet, even if we're already talking about v56. Unfortunately, the rollout of this update is not really automatic. When it gets out, it doesn't mean that you're gonna get it right away, but don't worry, eventually it's gonna arrive. A good thing to do is actually to keep it connected to the power and of course turned on, but this is something that we're gonna actually change from this update, v56. More about that later. I'm not actually suggesting to do it for everyone, by the way, but if you really can't wait for the new updates, there's the option for the PTC, so the public test channel, where you can get all the updates actually before release. But bear in mind that you're gonna be a beta tester, so if there are some problems, you're gonna get that problem, and sometimes you're also gonna have to factory reset. If you're adventurous enough though, if you want to enable the PTC, you have to go to the Meta Quest app, devices, device settings, and then in advanced settings actually toggle the PTC, so public test channel. Anyhow though, let's start talking about v56, because the first big thing is actually hand tracking 2.2. This is of course a new update on the backhand to improve the responsiveness of the hand tracking, and with this update you're gonna get a 40% latency reduction in typical usage and 75% during fast movements. Now these numbers are a bit weird, but of course it should feel more responsive. To actually let it test you, they created a new app that you can download directly called Move Fast, and it's very similar to Beat Saber, but you're just gonna use your hand tracking to actually punch, get cover or slice blocks. I tried it a bit with the Quest Pro, and to be honest, I had some problems slicing the blocks, but so far, overall, it worked very well and it was very fun indeed. So if you want to test it out, of course, the link is going to be in the description below. Also, another improvement is that finally they added an API with which the developers can choose to use the controllers and the hand tracking at the same exact time. So that means that you can use a controller and have hand tracking on the other hand. That means that you can use hand tracking and the controller completely at the same time, so you can have your hand movements exactly like they are in your hands, and that's pretty cool indeed. Or well, the mix of both. This thing though will not work on the core system UI right now, but just if developers want to add it in their apps. Unfortunately, we don't have any demo out. Yes, but it will be very interesting to see how it works. It's something that, by the way, we have on the Vive Focus. For example, it's great that the options are arriving also on the Meta platform. Also, let's do this section very fast because we talked about it on the latest video, but there's the ability now to have multitasking directly with the touch UI in the system. So you can have 3 different windows open at the same time. It's not perfect because it's all flat, but it's already better than nothing. And at the same time, we also have this swipe to type feature in the keyboard. To be honest, it works very well and I'm using it all the time right now. A great addition. But let's keep going, because the second point is Livestream to Facebook. This is a big thing that returned to the Quest platform because it was taken out 2 years ago. But yeah, it's back. Now you can stream your games directly on Facebook, and on top of that, there's actually the possibility to see the chat in a little box during the gameplay, so you can stay connected with your audience, of course. But yeah, overall right now it's just on Facebook, of course, so in case you disconnected your account from Facebook, now you gotta connect it again. The chat experience got updated, so if you get a call on the voice chat with a friend, then a new chat will open right away in the messages box. So if you had the call with people, now you're always gonna be connected for the future to play again together. And I think this is really cool to create little groups and playing with friends. Another thing that they added is live captions, so if you have problem hearing, of course, you're gonna be able to enable it in some apps and also on the home experience and in the store. So instead of hearing, of course, you're gonna see what people are talking about, what the video is talking about. This is a first step for accessibility and is super appreciated, and hopefully they're gonna add it also to more apps in the future. And another great accessibility feature is the fully customizable controller layout. You can find any settings, accessibility and mobility, and yeah, you're gonna be able to customize completely the buttons on your Quest. So if you prefer to have the A button on the trigger or vice versa, now you can do it. And that's pretty cool. Now this is specific to the Quest Pro, and we talked about it in the latest video as well, because local dimming is going system-wide. So that means that every app is gonna be able to use it all the time, unless of course the dev switch off the option in their app. This is gonna use all the great features of the screen on the Quest Pro, and while it's great for content, in the dark can add some glaring. So yeah, there's always a trade-off, but on the other side now we can choose if you wanna use it or not. And that's great, and for me, by the way, it's always on. I love that feature. Last part of the update is something that hopefully is gonna fix the problems with the updates themselves, is the fact that now we have automatic power headset to update. And that means that now when you connect your headset to the power cable, well, that is gonna turn on automatically and starting to update the system by himself, all the apps, and synchronize all the cloud saves without any input from you. And that's very good, because many times you just get the thing and then it wants to update the controllers or wants to update the system, wants to update the apps. It shouldn't happen anymore, because when you charge it, it's just gonna do it by itself. The thing that is not clear though, because I didn't receive this feature yet, is that I don't know if there's gonna be a toggle to actually switch it on or off in case of the scenarios, because I imagine using an external battery with the Quest, and then that turns on when it's in the bag instead of charging, and uses a lot of power. So hopefully there's gonna be a toggle. But I think it's a great feature to have. It's very similar to what we have already on the PS5, on the Xbox. They just update themselves if they stay in the standby mode. But yeah, here we have it. This was update V56 for the MetaQuest 2 and the MetaQuest Pro, arriving already now. I hope for you, of course. And so far it's great. They're still working on a better interaction and trying to have the best interaction possible with the hands. It seems to be a big thing that is gonna be needed for the Quest 3 as well. But hey, did you receive it already? Are you joining the PTC to have these updates right away? Let me know in the comment below. And as always guys, if you liked the video, like. If you didn't like the video, dislike. Subscribe to the channel for more VR tech. If you really love the channel, join button on there. Turn further also the Patreon. Thanks to all the Patreons who join the channel, of course. And I see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.